Thank you for that introduction. I do that stuff, and what makes all that stuff unique is the fact that what I love doing is taking technologies to market. So whether it be Saatchi Invest and Investor, taking early stage companies and helping them get to market through help and money, or whether it be with the bakery where we matchmake them with big brands and get them their first big client, we help get technology to market. And the story that I want to tell today is, I guess, my story, right? Everyone has their own thing. But this was what I had to do more of what I love, and that's work out what my values were as a human, which sounds quite facile, but it was a real light bulb moment for me. And then to work out, right, to live my life more by my values, I had to work out what I was scared of. And then I had to then make sure that in order to do what I love, I had to overcome all those fears to do it. And that's the story that I basically want to tell you tonight. And I feel very lucky to do what I do now, and I love it, and I could talk about it forever. But a year ago, I was basically pretty miserable. And I was miserable because I worked at a company called, a great company, M&C Saatchi, but it's a big company. And I was trying and I was hustling and I kept trying to do things, and even though I was on a great wage and I did stuff my mum knew that I did because I made adverts that everybody saw, I just spent about 2 years just utterly miserable, thinking, do I need to do an MBA, or do I need to be a psychotherapist, or do I need to do something else, because it just wasn't fulfilling me and it wasn't making me happy at all what I was doing. And so I was pretty numb, and I didn't really know what to do, and there were various things that happened. One of the key things that I did was, I actually went to a career coach, which doesn't sound very inspiring or lovely, but they did this one thing which was brilliant for me, which was they went, right, you've got to do this exercise now, and I've got 120 values on cards, and you have to mix them up, and you have to work out what you are. And this is basically my heart on a page, right? These are the 10 things that were most important to me. And there's stuff on there like autonomy. And at the time I was working for the company, I didn't realise how important freedom was to me, because the truth was I was scared to go out on my own. And if you look now, I do my own business with the bakery, and autonomy is really important to that. Growth was really important to me, like always learning. I didn't realise how just that constant curiosity and learning was really important to me. So that was suddenly me, and by working out who I was and what I really valued and what I cared about, I suddenly could make choices. As was said just then, like, we've got so many choices we could make, but knowing that really, really helped me. But then the second bit of it was, I knew it, and I was like, okay, great, I want to do all these things. But then there's all the reasons why I couldn't do them, and I worked out that I had lots of things that I was really scared of. And again, this is me on the page, right? Like, my dad used to tell me off, like, you know, when I was playing football and I was never quite good enough, right? So I had all these coping mechanisms that I brought about not being good enough. I was really scared of failing. I had this ridiculous need as well to please people, and so I wouldn't make my own decisions unless other people said it was okay. And gradually I had to overcome that. And I've sort of talked about the failing bit as well. And I think the most important thing is not necessarily just those, like, knowing those scared feelings and sort of rationally trying to work out how I overcome them. It was more about feeling when I felt those fears and recognising that. And that meant turning off my brain a little bit and stopping all the chattering. There was this girl I met once, and she said, "Alex, shut up, just feel your hands for a moment." It was a big moment for me, I've always remembered it. She said, "Shut up, feel your hands, listen to you." And there was a clip I saw the other day from this guy, Louis C.K., who talked about, we've got so much going on, and he's just talking about when he heard this song that reminded him of something that made him sad earlier in his life, and this is what he said.
So, anyway, I started to get that sad feeling, and I was reaching for the phone, and I said, you know what, don't. Just be sad. Just let the sadness stand in the way of it, and let it hit you like a truck. And I let it come, and Bruce, and I just started to feel, oh my God. And I pulled over and I just cried like a bitch. I cried so much. And it was beautiful. It was like this beautiful, it's just this, sadness is poetic. You're lucky to live sad moments. And then I had happy feelings because when you let yourself feel sad,
yes,
your body has like antibodies. It has happiness that comes rushing in to meet the sadness. So I was grateful to feel sad, and then I met it with true, profound happiness. It was such a trip, you know. And the thing is, because we don't want that first bit of sad, we push it away with like a little phone for the food, and you get a little kind of. You never feel completely sad or completely happy. You just feel kind of satisfied with your product.
Yes.
And then you die.
But for me, and I remember, and it's just one of those flashbulb moments for me. I was like, it's quite a weird image to conjure up. I was just sat in the bar, and I just remember feeling stuff. And whereas before, I'd just cut it out, and I didn't put the radio on. I was just silent, and it was just important to start recognising those feelings, because as soon as I recognised them, when I felt scared, I could then do something about them. And so this is what I did. So suddenly I went, right, so I do this job that actually I don't like, and I left. It was terrifying. And do you know what? It was okay. I found work with a material science company 2 weeks later doing this mad presentation to Google somehow. It just worked somehow. And it's never as bad as you think. And I was also scared about meeting new people. Do you know what I made myself do? I made myself come over to Tech City and I talked to loads of people who turned out to be really helpful, and they connected me to loads more people. And within 2 months, I got a call to do, because I suddenly knew lots of tech companies, Saatchi invested up a fund and said, well actually, even though you left, we want you to come and do this. And I was like, great. And then I met my co-founder, a guy called Andrew Humphreys, at one of these tech events, and a guy called Leo, basically all in the same event. It was like the epicenter of my life. And because I'd spoken to lots of people who'd heard of me and did that, I got to do the bakery thing. And by opening myself up to meet new people that I was quite scared to do, and by trusting serendipity, and just not being afraid to do the thing, just to do stuff. That's all I did, I just did stuff. I stopped thinking about stuff, I just did it. I did all the stuff that scared me. And for me, it worked out, and I'm very grateful for that. But none of that would have happened unless I could recognise what my values were, what was important to me, and what scared me. So the question that I'd leave you all with is, what are you scared of that stops you doing more of what you love? Because I promise you that whatever fears are gnawing away at your brain, it's never as bad as you think it is. Thank you.